Good morning, evening, and afternoon to everyone. I would like to welcome you all to this session of UA Interaction with Nabil Benamar, which is organized by Learn Internet Governance. Learn IG is a youth awareness and outreach organization working to promote youth for leadership possibilities. I'm Shreedeep Rayamajhi, founder of Learn IG, and I will be the host. Getting on to the call, house rules. Please mute your mic when you are not speaking. Raise your hand if you have a question. Speak your name first for recording purposes. The QA will be managed by Amina, who is also a UA ambassador and an ICANN Fellow. The program is divided into two parts: presentation by the speaker Nabil Benamar, QA by Amina, and she will ask and manage this part. Let's start with a brief introduction of our speaker Nabil Benamar. Thank you.
With you here, and thank you for having me.
Thank you,
So,
Nabil, for that introduction. Now let's go back to the presentation.
okay, so give me 1 minute to share my screen. Okay, okay. I need to share my screen, yeah? So, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So, thank you all for joining today's meeting, today's webinar. So, our webinar is about the definition of universal acceptance and what we are doing in the USG. So the universal acceptance is part of what we want to achieve as a community, as a whole community. It's the digital inclusion. So the United Nations sponsored the World Summit on Information Society, so more than 10 years ago, for building the information society, a global challenge in the new millennium. So if you go back to the global community during WCIS at the Geneva Summit 2003, so we have some principles that have been uh, uh, announced during the summit. So it's 20 years ago. They say that we, the representatives of the people of the world, assembled for the first phase of the World Summit of the Information Society, declare our common desire and commitment to build first a people-centered, inclusive, and development-oriented information society where everyone can create, access, utilize, and share information and knowledge, and enabling individuals, communities, and peoples to achieve their full potential in promoting their sustainable development and improving their quality of life. So this is something that we can, all these principles that you can see here can be met through different ways, not only one way. So, for example, I remember back in the early days of 2010, 11, the Internet Society launched the IPv6 launch or the IPv6 day. And in 2012, it was the IPv6 launch. And the slogan that during that years, 2011 and 12, is to permit for all the population of the world to access to the internet, because IPv4 was running out of addresses, and we need to migrate and deploy IPv6 so to enable the rest of the world to access to the internet. So one way was to permit the access through the IPv6, for example. And other projects were launched to enable anyone to access to the internet in different ways, through the physical access, through permitting the connectivity, the physical connectivity, connecting the remote areas in the world, etc. And also, one way of permitting everyone to feel that they are comfortable with the content, with the internet, etc., is to make the content and all the internet services available through different languages and through different scripts. So we live in a multilingual world, and we need that everyone can experience the internet and the web browsing and all other internet services like the email using their own language. Globally, language usage is diverse. English comes third in terms of native speakers, as you can see here, after Mandarin and Spanish. And English represents 57% of the total written content online, and the percentage is decreasing. So here we can see that we are no more in the English-centric content or services in the internet, and we need to bring the other languages through to the net and to the internet. So here we are just giving examples about the web or languages in on the web, but this is something that we can also talk about for the other applications. So multilingualism is definitely the key to digital inclusion. Is one of the keys. Uh, uh, Linguistically diverse internet significantly contributes toward a knowledge-based society by bridging the digital divide, since we can have, for example, some populations, some citizens of the world that are not comfortable with any other language than the mother tongue that they are using. So they cannot use another script to access to the internet, whether for the web address, which is the URL, or the email address, or the web content, etc. So, therefore, linguistic diversity online was a key principle in WC's Geneva Declaration in 2003, leading to this commitment, which is toward multilingualization of the internet in 2005 during the YCS in Tunis. Also, here, if we look carefully into the multilingualism too, so UNESCO, in its multilingualism and universal access to cyberspace recommendation, asked to elevate language barriers on the internet by access to content, capacity building, national policies, collaboration toward technology with extensive multilingual capabilities. So here is a map where we can see different alphabet that are used, or different scripts as we call them, as you can see here. So the Latin script is not the majority of what we can see here, but rather than one of the representative of the scripts in the world. Definitely not the majority. So now back to what we are using here, and why this is important for us is by creating the domain name system and its relationship with ICANN. So a domain name is a unique name that forms the basis of the uniform resource locator, the URL, that people use to find resources on the internet. So when we have a web page, the content is part of the web, and the communication or the protocol being used is here between the client and the server, between the browser and the server hosting this website or this web page, is definitely HTTP. But HTTP and the web is not the only application we are using in the on the internet. We are using the email. We are using forms. We are using identity platforms, e-commerce platforms, web uh, web tools for hosting websites. programming languages, etc. So the Latin script should not be the only script being used. So how can we make these all these tools and applications universal acceptance for digital inclusion? So here comes the importance of the domain name. When we have the page, the URL is not part of the HTTP. This is the DNS. So this is another service. So if we are able to write or to enter a URL in the address bar using our own script, this is something toward the multilingualism of the internet. So it's not only the content, but how you access this content. What is the address that you are using here? So, for example, take an example of someone who doesn't have any knowledge of the Latin script. He knows Arabic or only Cyrillic or only Chinese or Korean
I
or
don't
any
like
other script, and he would like to type the address to access the content. So he knows the how to spell words in his own script, but rather than this script, nothing. So this one can, this person, this citizen of the world, can face this frustration on using the internet because uh, mod- all the internet, only the content is in different languages, but the other services are still uh, uh, English centric. So the domain name itself identifies a specific address on the internet that belongs to an entity such as a company. For example, the domain name wikipedia.org is used to point to the address. So the DNS is this protocol that links the IP addresses with names, with domain names, and because of the fact that we as humans, it's easy for us to remember names rather than numbers. So the Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers, which is ICANN, helps coordinate and support these unique identifiers across the world. The In the early days of ICANN and for the DNS system, the top level domains, which we call the TLDs, have mostly been 2 or 3 letters long, formed with Latin characters. The evolution of the DNS has allowed for newer and longer TLDs. There are now around more than 1,000 new generic TLDs that represent brands, communities, and in different forms and different shapes. For example, here, dot photography, dot London. So what is specific with these new TLDs is the fact that they are no more written in 2 or 3 characters. So they are long. We have also the new short, not the classical ones, the traditional ones like .com, .org, .edu, .net, etc., and the CCTLDs. We have also the new shorts. Uh, we will see examples in other slides. So these new TLDs also include internationalized domain names, which allow for domain names in local languages and scripts such as this one or this one dot mithal in Arabic, and also this is the equivalent of example dot example in Chinese. So other labels within the domain name can also be internationalized, allowing for domain name to be in a local language and script. So here the difference between script and language is very important. I will take the example of the Arabic script, which is this one. The Arabic script is the set of characters that are used to write the Arabic language, but not only the Arabic language, and this is important. We are using the Arabic script to write other languages like the Urdu, like the Farsi, especially. Most importantly, these 2 other languages that are different from the Arabic language. So I can see a text, I can see that this is written in the Arabic script, but I cannot understand anything as an Arab because this is not my language. This might be Urdu or Farsi or other languages that are using the Arabic scripts. So before joining the USG, I was member, and later on I was the chair of the task force for the Arabic script IDNs. It's a group of experts from different backgrounds that try to come up with some rules on how to write a valid top level domain using the Arabic script. So because the top level domain is common to all languages, to everyone, so you need to find some common rules that can be used for anyone to access. Then when we were done with this work, and it was integrated into ICANN rule zone DNS servers, we moved to the second level. But for the second level, it was more flexible because when you create a subdomain under .ma or .al-maghrib for Morocco, for example, here, definitely you are using the Arabic used in Morocco. So you are not mixing with other languages. So the rules are clear and are easily specified. So the work that we have been doing to develop the whole generation label rules for the top level domain took longer than expected because of this diversity, because of different languages using the same script to write their own language. So IDNs are separate from online content, which can also be multilingual. The next round of GLT will continue to expand the DNS and give new opportunities to the next billion by creating new rules and in different scripts. So here is a summary of the expansion of the DNS and the next round. So in the pre 2009, we had only 22 generic TLDs, as you can see here. And then we have also the country code. And then after the 2009, ICANN introduced the IDN CCTLDs for all countries. And starting from 2012, the new and long GTLDs, as you can see here, .car, .rio, .bar, etc. So this new short, and you have the long that like .london, .toyota, .technology, .photography, and others, and IDN's GTLDs for all the different scripts. So here is also a map of the different IDN country code top level domains, as you can see here. Now we have 90 IDN GTLDs that are delegated. And now let's move to the email address. And here is a summary of the evolution of the email addresses. Initially, email addresses were also not available in local languages and scripts. And the email address internationalization addresses this limitation to allow for having email addresses in local languages and scripts, which means that we can create an email address using our own scripts. But the problem is whether the other email providers can transmit this email, can handle this email, can manage this email. So this is something that we will discuss here. So here is some examples of IDNs. So this is for Armenian, this is for Oriya, Georgian, Korean, Malayalam, and for example for the Arabic. So the problem here we have another issue, is that some languages or scripts are written from right to left, not from left to right, like the English or the Latin scripts. So for example, for Arabic and also for Hebrew, they have the same thing. So these are two examples of languages that are written from right to left. So the application that we are using, the software we are using, platforms we are using, need to respect also the direction. When I fill a form, if my email is written in Arabic, it should be respected, not reversed. Not reversed, because The default behavior of the applications is to think that everything is written from left to right. So not only it's about the script itself, but also the direction. Here is some examples of international emails, as you can see here. So we have the at. So this is the mailbox name, and this is the IDN. But the direction is from right to left, as you can see. The challenge: IDN TLDs allow for multi-level domain names and email addresses for communities to register and use, allowing for more digital inclusion. However, we have some issues in their acceptance. For example, a valid email is rejected by a form here, for example, on a website, and is incorrectly displayed from left to right instead of right to left. So you will get a warning or notification. Please enter a valid email address. So this is not accepted by this application, by this interface, and we are still in the measurement working group. We are still assessing all available applications in different fields, in different topics, different areas, to see their compatibility, their if they are accepting their level of acceptance of the email, of the universal acceptance principle, where all domain names should be treated equally. All email addresses should be accepted in all software, in all platform. Some challenges too. So the AI acceptance rate in form fields on 2000 websites. Right to left at right to left dot right to left. So the acceptance rate here is really low, below 10%. You can have a little more if you have Unicode at idn.idn, but here you have a Unicode. For Unicode at ASCII.ASCII, still we have problem. We will have more or less, increased acceptance rate when we are using ASCII at ASCII.idn, and we will see examples of this. And here, for example, with with ASCII, generally with ASCII, we have more acceptance rate. Uh, for example, why we have a better acceptance for these two last examples, because there is no IDN there. So the only challenge here is that the new long and new short. Why? Because in some websites and some platforms they have a list of accepted number of characters, so they just need to upgrade or to update to accept longer TLDs. And also some websites and platforms, they have the list of accepted top level domains, and they don't include the new shorts. So the challenge here is little severe, if we might say, if we compare it to IDNs. So this is the support across email servers. We still have a problem until today. I mean, we have only few MXAI that can provide the full support. We are still on the way. So in the USG website, you can see we have a test. We have a link that you can use to test if your and check if your email address accepts the internationalization principle. You just enter your email address, and then you can send it to check this address. Okay, I would rather stop here if you want to ask any question before I can continue.
Nabil, let's go on with the presentation, and after the presentation is over, Amina is gonna take over with the questions, so it will be more comfortable.
Okay, sure, sure.
If there are any questions, please you can put it down in the chat as well. We'll record it and we'll put it in front, and you'll also have a chance to speak it out during the QA by Amina as well. So
Okay. Can you see my slides?
y- yes,
Okay, perfect. Okay. Uh, so until now, we have these statistics. Only 5.4 billion internet users worldwide. So we still have the third of the population of the citizens of the world still need to find their way to access to the internet. We have 67% of internet users, so based on these statistics. So the remaining one third of the world population still aren't online, primarily from Asia and Africa. So your continent and mine, we are still facing this problem in many parts of the of these two continents. And here we have some statistics about different continents about the percentage of individuals using the internet by region. So we still need to bring solutions to enable to make this population of the world access to the internet. So the multilingualism online is still a continued challenge due to the need for multilingual internet and the continued gaps in the technology, among other factors. There is still need for supporting multilingualism on the internet. So the definition of universal acceptance, as I have mentioned earlier, is the fact that we need to make every website, every domain name can be written in any language, should be accepted. All scripts should be accepted in domain names and email addresses in all platforms. Okay, and we have seen the example of the issue with, for example, with the form. So considered a technical compliance best practice, UA solves these issues by ensuring that all valid domain names and email addresses, regardless of the script, language, or character length, I will add also the direction, the writing direction, can be used equally by all internet-enabled applications, devices, and systems. So this is now the agreed definition of universal acceptance. The goal, all domain names and email addresses work in all software applications. The impact, to promote consumer choice, improve competition, and provide broader access to the end users. We have seen the global definition and global examples. Now, specific examples. If you want to have a domain name in ASCII, so we have everything in ASCII. So the domain name and the top level domain name. Also, for example, this one is ASCII, but here this is the new shorts, and this is the new long or the long. In Unicode, you can have something like this one. So this is in Unicode. It's not the ASCII. You know that ASCII is limited, so you can write only some few characters and symbols. But with Unicode, Unicode is the international code that can represent any character in the world. Okay, for international email addresses that may not work in applications, so these ones, for example. In Unicode, we have this one. So the mailbox name is okay, but the domain name here, it use accents. For example, this is in French, marc@société.org. So the accent here will cause a problem in the in applications. Unicode here is because the mailbox is the name of the mailbox is in Unicode. Still, the domain name is in ASCII. Here, this is the full Unicode or IDN. So we will say this Unicode at idn.idn. And same here, it's Unicode at idn.idn, but also it's written from right to left. So ASCII is based on letters and digits from 0 to 9 and hyphen, but Unicode supports characters of global languages and scripts. The question is, why does UA matter? Achieving UA ensures every person has the ability to navigate and communicate on the internet using their own script. This will also help to support a diverse multilingual internet, enable greater competition, create business opportunities. This is very important if you are aiming to organize, for example, a UA day activity. We need to think this way. Here is the UA definition. Here are examples. Here are the challenges or remaining challenges. But there are a lot of business opportunities if you are adopting UA. You need to have this message when you are addressing your hosts or your guests. Sorry, if you are addressing your guests during a UA activity, UA day, for example, this is something very important. What can we bring as business opportunity if we are deploying and adopting universal acceptance? Offers career advantage for developers and system administrators, assist government and policymakers in reaching their citizens because you are using the script that identifies this community. This is part of my identity if I'm able to use all internet applications and tools using my own language and using my own script. So making applications UA ready is first to support all valid domain names and email address by accepting, validating, processing, storing, displaying. Accepting is the fact that we accept this set of characters. It's validated, so the system or the software recognize them. It can process them as any transaction, in any process, in any script or program. So it can run the script. It can be stored in a database or elsewhere without any breaking or corrupting, and it can display it correctly, the shape, the direction, etc. So here is a call for to action. So we need to focus on the role of administrations of member states in the management of international or multilingual domain names, to emphasize IDN contribute to sustainable development through the promotion of greater internet accessibility and use in local languages, the need to continue to implement technical solutions to enhance the implementation of IDNs, and then recognize the role played by governments, technical communities. So here you can see the multi-stakeholder approach in advancing multilingualism, including the introduction of internationalized domain names. We have in the USG, we have different working groups that are tackling this all these issues, and we are trying to solve the problems. ICANN and its community work to achieve UA readiness by organizing outreach to raise awareness, conducting detailed studies to identify technical gaps, and this is something that we are doing in the measurement working group, determining solution to address the technical gaps. This is a common thing that we are doing in measurements working group and the technology or tech working group, submitting bug reports in the relevant tools, systems, and applications. Both in our groups we are doing this, conducting technical training on the solutions for supporting UA readiness. And this is something that's also part of our activities, especially by our UA ambassadors that are conducting, that can be invited to organize or conduct any workshop or technical training mainly. And also during the UA day, that will be held 1 month before the 28th of March. So starting from February, we can have this, and 1 month before this. So February, March, and April, and May also. So now we have a bigger window. We will see a lot of activities and UA Day activities. But during the year, we can do some webinars or workshops or technical training depending on the public, like we are doing here, for example. So here are some stakeholders that can help achieve UA. Technical enables, technology enables, technology developers, email software and service providers, government policymakers, academia. So, for example, in our measurements working group, we have created another task, big task for us is to prepare a new curricula related to courses, all courses that can include something about universal acceptance. So now we are developing the content for all these courses and the modules that are taught in the university, like networks, like programming languages, like databases, operating system, browser system software, application software, and many other courses. How, what kind of content should be added to this existing course or syllabus to make people aware of the importance, at least for the student to be aware that there is something called universal acceptance. You can write, you can use your own script in all these applications. So any change, we believe that any change should come first from the university, from academia, because here you are producing the technicians, the engineers, etc. So you make them ready to integrate the market with this background that UA is a fact, and anyone can enable it in its environments. So this is generally the uh, the recommendation that we have. I think yeah. So I think we have covered majority of the content, and yeah, I would say thank you for your attention, and I will be more uh, uh, glad to hear from you. Your comments, your questions, any debates is welcome here. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Nabil, for that wonderful presentation. It's always an honor to hear you and to understand what UA is all about and understanding the challenges, because it's a matter of identity. Language is all about our identity. And now I would like to welcome Amina. Please, Amina, take over. Please give your short introduction and start the QA.
Thank you so much, Shreedeep. Good day, everyone. My name is Amina Ramallan, like Shreedeep said. I'm an ICANN Fellow, and I'm also a UA ambassador. Thank you, everyone, for joining this session. And thank you so much, Nabil, for the insightful presentation. I think we can all agree that UA is truly the key to bringing the next billion people online. So I just there's something you said, the last thing you said about academia being one of the key key things to helping us achieve universal acceptance. It reminded me of so a couple of weeks ago, I came across a post by some people here in Nigeria. So they do something, there's a, I think they have a program where they do programming, I think in Java and Python. So they do it in one of the local languages in Nigeria. So I just want to know, is that something that is related to, is that something that also helps us achieve universal acceptance, that is coding in the local languages? So that's just a question, something that I've been wanting to ask. And while Nabil responds to that, if you have any further question, you can raise your hand or put it in the chat, and we will be sure to respond to your question. Thank you. Okay, so I think Nabil wants to take all the questions at once. So there's a comment in the chat that says we would like to involve the presenter in our research. Kindly use them to get involved. So, okay, so Adebumi, can you speak to that? Is that a question, or I don't know if you want to take a minute to say what that is about, if Nabil
Okay.
wants to take it.
Thanks, Amina. I really appreciate it. Thanks for going all out to show that you're a great UA ambassador. We appreciate this opportunity to listen to uh, our brother Nabil from the UASG. And fortunately for us in Africa, okay, sorry for the records, Dr. Adibumi Adeola Kimbo for the records, DNS Africa. So DNS Africa is doing the research. We're hoping that we would get something up and going for the UA Day. Unfortunately, we will not be able to get that. But that's not stopping us. And so we are, looking at the platform and the fact that Nabil has this much to offer. We could collaborate in looking at the case study of universal acceptance from the global level, apart from the African perspective. So that said, I think Nabil has also responded that we will be looking forward to that. So we just dropped our email. Thank you, Amina, once again. Well done, Nabil.
Thank you very
Okay, thank
much,
you, Adebumi.
Abdulmi. Thank you very much for your nice words. It will be my pleasure to collaborate with you, with anyone, with any community. Just drop me a mail. I will type my email here, and we can collaborate in any way that you look fit. Yes, definitely.
So I have another, I see two hands. So Aderonke, you have the floor.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Amina, for your moderation. And thank you, Nabil. Fantastic presentation. My name is Aderonke from Nigeria. I represent Nigeria in the GAC, and I'm also an ICANN Fellow. So my questions are in twofold. I'll be brief with it. The first one, Nabil, is it possible to share this presentation? I think it's one of the precise, straight to the point presentations I've seen lately on UA. Well done. Then the second point I'd like to raise here is the aspect of involving the OEMs and ODMs, that's original equipment manufacturers or ODMs, in the drive for UA. I recognize and I appreciate ICANN's perspective and the UASG regarding the apps or developers, software, email administrators, and all of that. But if we are looking at inclusivity, the gap that you identified that are still yet to be connected to the internet. In your presentation, there was 67% that has been connected, and majority are from Asia and Africa. Being a Nigerian and coming from the most populous African nation, I understand very well some of the reasons, so to speak, why we have this gap. Because we've provided access, so to speak. I work for the Nigerian Communications Commission. So do we have access? Yes. But is there affordability? Can an average low income earner afford devices, so to speak? I like also that you introduced in your presentation the ITU recommendations, which is great. It helps us to have a holistic view of how to approach this. But I'm just suggesting, how do we involve the OEMs, the ODMs in making or collaborating with governments? Because there's a role of the government and policymakers to see how we can come out with affordable, low-cost devices. Because if all the apps or email administrators do all this, how do I interoperability of the IDNs and the ASCII and all of that, and the average African on the streets of Nigeria or in the far-flung remote rural area cannot even have a device, and that device is not even manufactured in local languages or have opportunity for you to type in those local languages, I'm not sure that we'll be able to carry them or include them along. So in summary, how do we involve the OEMs? Thank you.
Thank you very much, dear Connie. It's yeah. You have raised a critical point here. How to make it affordable for everyone with some devices that can be used by the majority of internet users, especially in our uh, cheer continents. I think in Africa we are still facing this problem in majority of our countries. Not everyone can afford uh, uh, a decent smartphone to use to access to the internet. So I think this is another debate because in the USG we are not working on this. We are mainly working and focusing on how we can make any user in the world, any citizen of this world, internet user, using the applications with all the applications of the internet, using his own scripts. So that's the main goal that we are using. So if we achieve this goal, we are sure that we are towards the multilingualism of the internet and towards this big slogan, which is internet for all. Internet for all. I remember one day at the IGF, global IGF in Baku, it was in 2012. I was an ISOC ambassador to the IGF. The first day in the hotel where I was there, where I was sitting, I met in the early morning Windsurf. Windsurf is the father of the internet, as you know. So we met, we discussed. He is so humble. He can connect with everyone. He is ready to jump in, to debate, to talk, to discuss, etc. So when he was leaving, he gave me his business card. Without asking him, he in the back of the business card, he wrote something. So when he left, I read the business card. So I was really happy with the business card of Windsurf with his handwriting there. So he wrote "Internet for All." Since that day, I was thinking about this. What does it mean, internet for all? So it has a lot of meaning. One of the meaning of internet for all is to make it multilingual. For other persons is to make it affordable for everyone. For others is to make the infrastructure available for everyone. So if we stick only with IPv4, it's the end of the internet. So others are working towards a better deployment and migration to the IPv6 to bring everyone to and everything, not only everyone, to the internet. So it can be seen from different perspectives, and that's the message of Internet of All. Thank you. Yeah,
Thank
Lydia.
you so much, Nabil. We have Lydia. Lydia, can you go on with your question? Lydia, are you there? Okay, I don't know if Lydia can. Lydia, your hand is up. Okay, if Lydia is not there, I will just. I think I see one more question in the chat. So it says, when deciding on a domain, is there a particular domain that is better option when it comes to being better for one's business? e.g., creating relevant traffic to the website. Um, yeah, that is another question on the chat.
I can see the chat, but I cannot see this question.
So
When
it's
deciding, okay, Hassan from Hassan.
yes.
So when deciding on domain, wondering if there is a particular domain that is a better option when it comes to it being better for one's business. Example, creating relevant traffic to the website. So do you mean if we create a domain name using this script, non-Latin script or Latin script, what is the impact of the business on the business? Yes, definitely. Definitely, we have this problem, this challenge. We need to think first which one will bring more business and visibility on the internet and on the web. But at least I think in this case we need to enable both to deal with all communities, with all languages, with all customers. Same thing for the email address. So some might argue that how how can you use your email address, international email address, your EI address, using the Arabic script, for example, as an Arab, when you are sending your email to someone who is in any part of the world that doesn't use the Arabic scripts or doesn't know anything about the Arab language. So, how this can help? So, we have said that at least I can have all my, for example, if I'm using an email client, I can specify the source email address that will from which I will send my email. So depending on the receiver, I will choose my email address, whether the one that I'm using, the Latin based character, or the non Latin script character, and others. So depending on the so you have different choices, you have more flexibility, more freedom, etc. And don't forget that this is part of our identity. Anyone would like to feel that he has something that identifies him in this world, in this big world.
Hello,
Hello, Lydia.
can you hear me?
Clearly.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. I'm most grateful. My name is Honorable Lydia from Ghana. I'm a member of APNIC, African Parliamentarian Network on Internet Governance. I am so much interested in the presentation, and thank you very much, Nabil, for this wonderful presentation. The presentation has just come in handy, but I have some few questions. One, my first question has to do with whether you have plans to add members of APNIC into your next presentation, because I realize that we're going to have another presentation in the few days coming. And again, this universal access, I think my suggestion is that I think you need to add some of the parliamentarians on communication so that they will be able to, as it is now, influence some of the laws in the various countries that has to do with internet access. One, one of my ladies from Nigeria just mentioned that we have issues of um, devices. At least parliamentarians should be part of this conversation to understand what it really is, so that when we are making laws in parliament, we will be able to influence those laws that will go a long way to affect the devices that are imported into the various countries. And then again, we are talking about access of internet. Currently in Ghana, I can say that access is about 65 to 70%. What about the 30% that are yet to have internet? Because one, the infrastructure is not there. Two, even where the infrastructure is there, as you just mentioned, it is expensive to the rural folks. Data is expensive to the common rural person who cannot even get 3 square meals in a day. And again, if you look at it, it is sometimes not just about access, it's not about affordability, it's about the illiteracy in
Yes.
some parts of Africa. If you look at it, there are people you think that they have the devices, but even how to use it is a problem. One, some people cannot afford. Two, there's high rate of illiteracy. Three, the devices that are coming into the country or the various countries in Africa has a challenge of making the local language accessible to any domain that you want to put whatever uh, um, um, internet service that you want to access. So to me, we should be looking at laws. We should be looking at tailoring our conversation towards those areas because universal access is very, very key in every sphere of life. It is in business, it is in agriculture, it is in trade, it is even as we speak in Ghana, there are hospitals that are using the internet. But in the rural areas, you go to a hospital, you need to carry your card all over from the OPD to the consulting room to the nurse's table to the ward. But in other areas, you key in and everything goes through the internet and your problem is solved. You can even sit in one hospital and get access to other hospital where you can get services that the patient need. So your call on academia, civil society, um, um, people in authority is very, very key. And I want to applaud you for that. And I'm very, very grateful. And I think that it should not be some few people that is listening to this. It should go beyond us. It should go beyond parliamentarians, should go beyond civil society, should go beyond academia, and to everybody that needs internet. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Lydia, for that contribution. So I think we're over the top of the hour. I don't see any more hands up, but I just want to round up by saying thank you everyone for joining this presentation. Universal acceptance is something that everyone can advocate for. We all can play a part in achieving universal acceptance through our workplace, our community, our government. We can advocate for certain laws, advocate for changes. On that note, I will pass the mic over to, I don't know if Nabil or Shreedeep have any last minute words before we can round up for the day. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Amelia. There is a question by Abdul Kamar. Please share more about you, Ambassador. I think that goes out to Amelia, and then Amina, and then we can like hear with Nabil as well.
Amina, do you want to say something about this?
Yes, sure, I will. So, the Universal Acceptance Ambassador Program is an initiative set up by the UASG. So it's basically another aspect of creating awareness on UA to the general public to make sure that universal acceptance gets beyond, because the UASG is only a handful of people. Now, this handful of people, they're in their own countries. They're in their own countries. Now, with the universal acceptance program, people from different parts of the world are selected. They are encouraged and supported to raise awareness on the issues of universal acceptance, email address internalization within their respective regions, because these people are closer to the grassroots. So it's easier for them to get the target audience within their community. That way, universal acceptance goes beyond just the handful of people that are in the UASG. So the UA Ambassador Program, you can apply, anyone can apply as long as you meet the requirements. Once you're selected, the position is for a duration of time. The UASG encourages you and supports you to host events, to spread the word on universal acceptance. So if you go on the UASG website, the UASG website is uasg.tech. On the website, you will find more information about the universal acceptance, how to become one, how to apply the current universal acceptance ambassadors we have. And yes, so that's all I have to say. I don't know if you have any specific question for more you want to know about the universal acceptance ambassador program, and if Nabil wants to add some more.
Please, can you share the website with us?
The
So I'll
website,
type
yeah,
the website
Yeah.
in the chat now.
yeah,
I'll type it in the chat.
uasg.tech. So please go there, and yes, definitely you will find all the resources that you need to know. You can download the documents, our USG documents. You can see the structure, the organization, the events. Yeah, so anything. And feel free to send us an email if you need something more. And thank you, Lydia, for all your comments and your interesting ideas that you shared with us.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you,
Yeah,
everyone.
Shreedeep, may I speak?
Yeah, sure. Please.
Thank you, Amina, and thank you, Nabil, for a very nice and learnful, you can say, presentation. You mentioned the criteria for the ambassador program. So, is there any specific criteria for the ambassador program? And I have second question is about my background is I am academic person. I'm working in a university as to teach undergrad student. So I have students for the final year project. Like in last semester, student have to develop a small website or a working application using any language they like. So is there any guidance available where I can advise student to design or develop their final year project under the, you can say, working under the, you can say, the universal acceptance application, or work on those skill set? So kindly give me enlighten me on this thing.
Yeah, very good question. Thank you, Abdullah. So, as a final year project for your students, for example, I would suggest, for example, that they can test the email servers and compare between them to see if they are UA ready or not. They can also do something a bit advanced if they have the necessary skills and background on networking, etc., to configure or to set up an EI email server, so that we can create email addresses in this server using any given script. They might choose a specific script, or to make it available for any or possible for any non-Latin script. They can also try other programming languages, compare between them, and see if they can handle non-Latin scripts. These are the tools that can be developed. So basically, I would go for creating an email server that is internationalized. So with the open source software that is available and Linux distributions we have, they can try with this, and I'm sure they can do something fantastic. So this is one of the things that come to my mind right now. And what was your first question?
Thank you so much. My first question is about is there any specific criteria for become a UA ambassador?
Yeah, to become a UA ambassador, you need to have solid knowledge about UA, and because you are ambassador, it means that you need to present in during events, during workshops. You can be invited as a speaker or as a trainer. So all aspects of UA you need to be aware of. So generally, you send a statement of interest, and we are a committee that is selecting and reviewing these applications, and we might definitely go to the second step to invite you for an interview to check your knowledge on this. Ambassador is representing all USG, so he or she needs to be aware of the main principles, the main things that can be done.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think so. There is a course available on I Can Learn as well.
Yes, this is the basic. Yeah, this is the basic that you can start from. But I would encourage you to go to USG website. You will find a lot of documents that you can read. You can screen some of them. You can read in.
Yeah, I am part of UA Mayor working group and the other UA technical working group. Basically, my background is CS background, and I can understand that
So
I
yeah, very
work
good,
on.
very
Yep.
good, very good. Yeah, definitely. So I think
But I am confused regarding becoming the member. I filled the form. So I am ICANN Fellow as well. I think so. Me and Shreedeep are APSIC Fellow, and I am ICANN Fellow. Shreedeep, I think so. You attend the ICANN 79. I attend 75.
very good, very good. So
So,
yeah, you are.
just in the end, I'm not taking too much time. Just your advice. I am interested to put my UI to become the ambassador for this and learn more on UA acceptance. So, what is your advice? One is UA.tech website, and is there any other you can say repository or you can say way I can learn and make my
Yeah, the main
own
one.
capacity?
The main one is usg.tech. Everything is there. You just need to fill the SOI and send it, and it will be reviewed by the committee, and they will get back to you.
Thank you so much.
Sure. Good luck.
Thank you, Nabil. Thank you, Amina, for doing that. And you guys have been always been a support. This we will probably be sending you the presentation and the video recording as well. So as a host, we kind of like would like to collaborate like this collaboration with Amina and for the African region. We have a lot of the people from the Africa, so we would like to collaborate in further days as well. And thank you, Nabil, for this wonderful opportunity. Now I'd like to officially end the call. Thank you all for joining.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Have
you.
a lovely day. Bye.